Homework tonight is page 278, numbers 1 through 8. At the top, it gives you different directions, but I cross those out and I just want you to find the prime factorization of 18 and 52. So remember, prime factorization is taking a composite number and breaking it down till you have nothing but prime factors. And remember, factors are those two numbers that you multiply together to get to a certain number. So 18, factors of 18, let's just say 2 and 9. Okay, now I want prime factors. Well, 2 is prime, so I can circle it, but 9 is not prime, so I have to break it down because it's still composite. 9 gets broken into 3 times 3. Well, 3 is prime. So my prime factorization of 18 is 2 times 3 times 3. And prime factorization is usually written in order from least to greatest. So looking at what we have here, our prime factorization has all prime numbers. And if I multiply all these numbers together, I'm going to get to 18. And that's what prime factorization is. All right, 52. Let's break down 52. Okay, the way I think about 52 is 52 card pickup. If you throw a set of a deck of cards and you call it 52 card pickup. So 52 is 4 times 13. And let's double check. 13 times 4, that's 12. There we go. All right, so 4 is composite, so I break it down into 2 times 2. 2 is prime, so I circle it, and 13 is prime. So our prime factorization of 52 is 2 times 2 times 13. All right. Number 3. Carl needs to build a stage that has an area of 72 square feet. The length of the stage should be longer than the width. What are the possible whole number measurements to fill in the length and width of the stage? So you have to complete the table with possible measurements of the stage. So it says basically we need to know the length and width, and they have to multiply together to get to 72. So 72 times 1 is 72. And then they have 2 here. So 72 divided by 2, that is 3, 6, 36. All right, so we need to think of other ways to get to 72. So let's try 3. 72 divided by 3, that's 2 and 4. So 3 times 24 gives you 72. Okay, let's try 4. 1. 4 goes into 32 8 times. So we have 18 and 4. All right, 5. Does 5 go into 72? It's a no, because it doesn't end in 0 or 5. So let's try 6. 6, that's 1. And 12. So yes, that's one of our multiplication facts. So we have 6 times 12. And then our last one would be 8 and 9. So this problem basically wanted you to list all the factors of 72, and that's it. They don't want you to find prime factorization. All right, the next two, we're finding the prime factorization, and number 4 has partially been done for you. So they've done 402 is the same thing as 201 times what? Remember, this dot means that you're multiplying. So it's probably times 2. Okay, so 201 is composite, so they have these to break it down some more, and 2 is prime. So now I need to figure out 201. 201 divided by what? Well, it's not going to be an even number because it doesn't end in 2, 4, 6, 8, or 0. So let's try 3. 201 divided by 3. Oh, there goes my lights. Hang on, let me turn the lights on. Sorry. Lamp. There we go. All right. So we're going to divide this by 3 to see what two numbers I can multiply together to get to 201. 3 goes into 20 6 times. That's 18. Subtract, I get 2. Bring down my 1, 7. So that is going to be 3 times 67. Well, 3 is prime. 67, we have to think, are there any two numbers that I can multiply together to get to 67? And 67, that falls in the realm of our multiplication facts. I can get close to 67, but basically 67 is prime. So I'm going to circle that. So my prime factorization is 2 times 3 times 67. All right, 36 is next. We did 36 on our warm-up yesterday. You saw it already. So 36 can be broken into 6 times 6. And there are other ways to get to 36, but I'm using 6 times 6. And 6 can be broken into 2 times 3. So can this one. 2 is prime, 3 is prime. So I'm done. My prime factorization is 2 times 2 times 3 times 3. And once again, I'm writing my prime factorization in order from least to greatest. So once again, prime factorization, taking a composite number like 36 or 402, and you're breaking it down using the factors of that number.
Teacher, this is your magic hour. This is the magic hour.
And you're breaking it down using the factors of that number until you have all prime numbers. So your prime factorization should only have prime numbers. If you end up with something like 2 times 2 times 9, 2 times 2 times 9 does equal 36, but all of these numbers are not prime. So I can't use this one. Okay, prime factorization only has prime numbers. All right, number 6 and 7, it says use the division, use a ladder diagram to find the prime factorization. I cross that out. I just want you to use your factor tree. So 32, what two numbers can I multiply together to get to 32? Let's do 4 times 8. Well, 4 is composite. So I break that into 2 times 2. And 2 is prime, so I can circle it. 8 is composite, so I have to break that into 2 times 4. 2 is prime, I can circle it. 4 is composite, so I can break that down into 2 times 2. So my prime factorization at 32 is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. All right, so 2 is prime. I have nothing but 2's. And if I multiply 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, it'll equal 32. All right, number 7. 27 is composite. So I have to break it down into 3 times 9. 3 is prime. It only has 2 factors, 1 in itself. 9 is composite. It has factors of 1, 3, and 9. So I can break it down into 3 times 3. 3 is prime, so I circle it. And my prime factorization for 27 is 3 times 3 times 3. All right, last question says, tell how you know when you have found the prime factorization of a number. So you know you have found the prime factorization when you have all prime numbers. So we circle our prime numbers when we're done, when we get to those prime numbers, so that we know that we're finished when we have everything circled. So we know we have found the prime factorization when we have all prime factors for the composite number. Okay, so once again, we start out with a composite number. We break it down until we have nothing but prime factors. And that's when we have our prime factorization. Remember, if you have any questions, bring your questions to class tomorrow. Thank you.